Gentleman from Maryland, Mr. Sarbanes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank the panel. I wish Congressman Meadows were still here because I'm delighted that he's thinking of stepping into the small donor matching system that is proposed in HR1. Because when you step into that system, you step into a system that is owned by the people. This is why it's in the bill. Because the public is tired of feeling like their elections, their system, their government, their democracy is owned by special interests, big corporations, Wall Street, oil and gas industry, super PACs, lobbyists, everybody but them. This is the power move. They want to own their democracy again. And all across the country, as you pointed out, citizens are stepping up and taking that power back by creating these systems where they're the owners, the rightful owners of their own democracy. And they can get that back, Mr. Mirabani, I think you said, for $1 a year. $1 a year.
That's right.
Per citizen. To ransom your democracy back from the people who've taken it hostage so you can call the shots. So I would love for Congressman Meadows to step into that system. I'd like every member. It's a voluntary system. You don't have to do it. But I'd like every person to step into that system because that's owned by the people. That's the whole idea. People are sick and tired of being sick and tired, to use Fannie Lou Hamer's words, at a system that is run by somebody else. So that's the argument for that system. Now let me get to a couple of the other things that have been mentioned here in the 3 minutes and 15 seconds that I have. Somebody said at the outset that this was theater. I think the ranking member said maybe it was theater. This is not theater. We're trying to set the table on the democracy, make people feel more empowered, like their voice counts and they're not locked out and left out of their own democracy and their own government and their own republic. That's why we're doing this. Somebody said, why are we hooking all these things together? Voting, ethics, campaign finance. Because the people have told us, if you just do one and you don't do the others, we're still frozen out, the system's still rigged. You fix the voting stuff, but if you go to Washington and nobody's behaving themselves, that doesn't solve the problem. Or you fix the ethics part, but the system is still owned by the big money and the special interests because they're the ones that are underwriting the campaigns, then we're still left out. The system is still rigged. You got to do all of these things together to reset the democracy in a place where it respects the average citizen out there who right now is sitting in their kitchen, they're looking at the TV screen, they're hearing about billionaires and super PACs who are making decisions inside conference rooms somewhere on K Street that affect their lives. And all they're saying is, we want back in. We're tired of sitting out here with our noses pressed against the window, looking in on the democracy that we have no impact on. That's why we're linking all of these things together, to reset the table so the special interests aren't the ones that are calling the shots. Is voter fraud the problem? Mr. Smith would have you think so. Voter fraud is not the problem. We know the statistics on voter fraud. They're microscopic. Voter suppression is the problem. The obstacle course that has been set up that makes it so difficult for people to register and get to the polls, and that it demoralizes them, and they stay home. It's not worth it. We have to fix that, as Congressman Cummings said. That's the baseline. The most powerful form of protest and engagement an American citizen has is the right to vote. But too many people in too many parts of this country still can't get to the ballot box. That's all it's about. Coordination, violating free speech. We can have sensible coordination rules so that super PACs aren't coordinating with candidates and violating, the campaign contribution limits and so forth. We can do that. We can protect free speech while actually giving more speech back to people who are denied it right now. That's not a problem. We're not outing donors. The provisions of transparency in this bill are targeted to mega donors who give more than $10,000 who right now are hidden behind this Russian doll kind of structure where you can't see who it is. Who's behind the curtain? Who's putting all this money into campaigns? The public wants to know that. That's reasonable. Let them see what's happening to their own democracy and give them their power back. That's what HR1 is, for the people.
Mr. Chairman.
That's how we designed it. I yield back my time.
Mr.